Hello and welcome back to the Placeholders. I'm Jonny Long and joining me today is Kit Nicholson. Hello, Kit.
Hello, Jonny.
It's a bit weird, don't usually do this, but Kaylee's not here, Nabby's not here, so I'm at the steering wheel. Ronan, you're here as well, Ronan Mc Laughlin.
Yeah, I might just leave. It doesn't seem... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Iain Treloar, let's hope that you can keep the listeners here.
I have my doubts, but I'm actually really excited about this. I like talking to my little friends.
So today is sadly our final episode of what has been a very fun year of podcasting. And so we thought we'd take an overview of the year via quiz format. But this is no ordinary, painful placeholder quiz. No.
Did you know this, Ronan? Did you know you were coming for a quiz?
I had 25 seconds notice of the fact that it was a quiz.
Well, luckily what follows, it's not just, name the top 10 World Tour riders at Guangxi. It's a gauntlet of around 20 questions. And the winner will not only be crowned the Placeholder World Champion of 2023, but they will also receive the prize of this baseball cap from the Ross. And I hope...
I have one of those already.
Well, hopefully you'll win this one, because if Iain wins it, then it's going to cost me a lot more in postage. So if Kit and Ronan could try really hard, I would appreciate it. Okay, now the way this quiz will largely work, I'll ask a handful of questions. Like we'll go through like 3 or so. I'll let you know.
And let me guess, you want the answers from us?
Yes, but we'll wait, and then we'll go through we'll talk about the questions. You'll have a chance to maybe think, and then we'll go round as a group, and you'll give your answers, note down who gets them right. And no cheating. I don't feel like I need to say this to you guys. I feel like you're a trustworthy group. But yes, obviously, honesty is the best policy. And if you're listening to this not on your commute or not cycling at home, do feel free to play along. All answers will be worth a point, and let us know in the Discord how you get on. Any questions or comments before we start from the group?
Are there hats for the listeners?
I believe there are hats available for listeners on the escapecollective.com/shop online store.
Okay, but
I think specifically if you want one of these... No, I think if you want one of those prize hats, you have to enter the Ross next year and write it, and then you get one.
Yeah, just like I did.
So there's a little bit of an extra effort to be made.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this time next year, hey, when we're at least a year old as a company, there'll be some way to send a Ross hat to the listeners. Is that literally the only question you have about what's about to take place? Just so that's great news.
Oh, you explained it rather well, I think.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let's get going then, because I can already see the reflection of Ian's screen off his eyes, which means it's getting very late in Australia. So we've got an opening trio of questions just to wet the whistle. The first one, we'll just go straight for it. What was the first ever article uploaded on the Escape Collective website? Yeah, just note it down. We'll have a couple more, then we'll go for the answers, but have a little think. The next question, number 2 of this particular round, is a sponsor activation question. Obviously, cycling is sport reliant on sponsors and sort of, them getting their airtime. So what I'd like to know from you lot, where we'll find out whether the current cycling business model is doomed or not, I'll ask you, what is a Deceuninck? The third question of this little mini round, this is the headline, what is the story? The headline is, thank Pooh very much. We'll go round in the circle to hear your answers. We will start, Ronan's got his mic to his mouth, so Ronan, we'll start with you. What's your guess for the first ever article uploaded to the Escape website?
I've just written intro.
Nice.
Was an introduction as to what Escape Collective was.
Are we talking about in the post-launch or the pre-launch phase?
We're talking about this morning when I went to the back of the CMS, right at the bottom article on the CMS.
I reckon it's one of yours, Jonters. I think it is your...
Yeah.
Who are the owners of the World Tour and what's their deal?
Okay.
That answer does not bode well for the rest of the quiz, because that is a well thought through answer. Doesn't bode well for Johnny's wallet and the postage to Australia. Anyway, I was going to go with roughly what Ronan said, and I think it was a kind of Kaylee, this is what we're here for sort of thing.
I'm tempted to give Kit I might give Kit half a point because she got the author correct. The article was "Welcome to the Escape Collective Podcast Network" by Kaylee Fretz.
Interesting.
Which is an introduction to the Escape Collective Podcast Network. So I think I should get a full point for this.
Ronan, you just said intro.
Yeah, it's an intro.
Well, in every article has an intro. Can't just. Yeah.
Well, I think make my case that
this is going to be good.
I think that this is not an article. That's not the first article on Escape Collective because that is just admin.
Okay.
What's an article then? I mean,
what are words?
Yeah.
Quite a lot of what we do is a gallery or an opinion piece, which is, I don't know. Anyway,
true, exactly.
We could go very quickly
I remember thoroughly enjoying Welcome to the Escape Collective Podcast Network. It was a real page turner. So
banger.
It was an intro to what we were about to do.
Luckily, I think that will prove to be the most controversial question of the whole quiz. And if it's not, then maybe this doesn't see the light of day. Right, what is a de Koning? We'll go reverse order. Kit.
Windows.
Ian.
We can do better than that. It is a Belgian PVC window frame company.
Have I just done an intro answer?
And I think that it's probably worth mentioning that it's not just de Koning that have their branding. They also occasionally, I think for Tour of Flanders or maybe Roubaix this year, they swapped out de Koning and were briefly Elegant. Elegant Quickstep, and Elegant is the marquee product of de Koning. It is a window concept. That's a direct quote from their website, which I know not because I've looked it up on the website, but because I've written about it the last 2 years. So that's my answer.
Can we just give them the point now?
Oh, go on, Ronan. Give your answer.
I think Ian has answered the wrong question. He's answered who are de Koning, whereas you asked what is a de Koning, and I've said a window. So I'm going to
but it's not a window. It's not a window. It's a window frame.
Is this what the performance process podcast is like? Where
this is what inside my head is like.
Oh,
single words.
I'm enjoying getting insight into what Ian was like at school because on question number 2, he's already trying to sort of curry favour and going above and beyond.
I kind of feel like there's only like certain questions in the racing sphere that are deeply in my wheelhouse. And you know that this is one of them.
You did say what is a de Koning?
You know what? I think everyone gets a point there.
Very diplomatic of you.
And cycling will live to see another day.
And Ian gets a gold star.
You will be influenced. That's In any tiebreaker situation, this will be acknowledged, Ian.
Thank you.
Your thoroughness. Who would like to tell me what the story is behind the headline? Thank Pooh very much. Iain Treloar, you have the floor.
It is the story that was on the front cover of a Scottish tabloid after the World Championships men's road race. Matthew van der Poel was caught short when there was a climate change protest near Falkirk, from memory. And he needed to go into someone's house and did a poo there. And then the rest of the Dutch team also went in and did a poo there. And then he thanked them in a post sort of race interview. He said that it was great that they let him do his business.
Ronan is holding up his piece of paper showing that he went for... What did you go for, Ronan, for that answer?
I was going to try and go for one-word answers for all of them, but I've gone for 2 words here, and I've just written AG2R shorts.
You probably could have stuck with AG2R when we'd have understood.
I probably could have, yeah.
So that Ian doesn't get a full point, can I add that I think the house was under construction? That's the only thing I can add to that story. In the hope that I might get at least half a point, because Ian's stolen the prize.
Oh, no, sorry. To be clear, like if you get the answer right, then you get the point. It's not like there's only one up for grabs. You know, this is a land of plenty where there are points for everyone.
So it's literally like a spelling test at school. It's not like, we can get as many
hopefully it's a little bit
more
fun than that. But yeah, sure. If we want to think of it as a spelling test, then and like this is purgatory, then that's also great.
Ronan is now looking like the kid at the back of the class, pen in mouth, leaning back, probably on 2 legs.
It is very instructive for insight into how you all grew up. But yeah, so at the end of that wonderful first round of questions, the scores are: we have Ronan in third with 1 point, we have Ian in second with 2 points, and Kit takes a narrow lead with 2.5 points. And now, because we are not on any sort of... Oh, sorry, Ronan.
I just want to take this opportunity to highlight my concerns that once again the Placeholders quiz is conspiring against me. I want to have that on the record now to come back to later, but let's go for it.
Would you like a tech
That's
question?
been noted. I'm just going to note that down, that it took 3 questions for Ronan to bring up that the quiz was...
No. In the interest of clarity, it took 1 question.
Okay. I will check. I will amend the record. We'll move on to the quick fire viral quiz round. Things throughout the year. I think there are 8 questions here.
When
This is
you
the
say
real
quick
meat of the
fire,
quiz.
So how does it? Because that means that the format's going to change from what you said at the beginning.
I think he
true.
wants us to quickly
Right.
list which viruses we've had.
That would have been better. Also, good point, Kit. Do you want to do a buzz in? Should we do some shouting, or should we keep it rather calm? What would you prefer?
I mean, from my perspective, seeing as I have 2 sleeping children in the house,
No shouting.
no shouting.
Yeah,
Do it in the weekly pain format where you go round, ask us one at a time. I don't know.
that seems reasonable. Yeah, why? Okay, this should have definitely been decided before. But what about we will go round, and if you get it right, you get the point, and then it moves. But if the person gets it wrong, then it keeps moving around the circle, and so you can start stacking up some points. So Kit, we'll start with you. We'll go Kit, Ronan, Iain. Sorry, Iain, I had to put you last in the order because otherwise, Ronan would start flipping out again. So Kit, we'll start with you. We'll start in March at Strada Bianchi. Which animal got onto the course as Demi Vollering closed in on victory?
A horse? Or do I have to be really specific and try and come up with the colour and the name of the horse?
Yeah, and
Iain
preferably the breed. Yes.
It was a
No,
horse.
horse is fantastic. It was a horse. Correct. 1 point to Kit. Ronan, also in March at Milan Sanremo, who were the 3 riders squeezed onto the much too small podium sofa? Well, the sofa while they were waiting for the podium.
That was Van der Poel, Van Aert, and Ganna.
Correct. That photo also, every time I see it, it just fills me with the same amount of joy.
It's so good.
It's just
I
delightful.
don't think I've seen it since. I'm going to have to look it up again.
Yeah, I might get it printed out actually and carry it in my wallet.
There was a rare moment of personality from a Belgian newspaper around the time. I'm not sure if it was Het Nieuwsblad or something, but they basically tried to do an interview with the sofa, which I wasn't expecting from them. But the sofa didn't speak, so they just spoke to the sofa owner, and they were like, "Yes, this is a sofa that we bring to all the races."
I can see you seeing that article and just being like Arthur shaking fist emoji. That's what I would have done if I'd been there. Iain, your question. Fast forward to May at the Giro d'Italia. Who came 4th on a stage by sliding across the finish line on their behind? And for a bonus point, who was the most helpful rider to them during the Italian Grand Tour?
Mark Cavendish with the arse slide, and the most helpful rider, Geraint Thomas, for leading him out to a stage win in Rome.
Correct. Guys, amazing. I can't tell if these questions are too easy or whether you're all just...
I mean, it is our job.
up to date on it all. That's true. That is true. Yeah, this is actually, it's not a quiz. This is
No, that's true.
It's an internal test.
But it's on the rare occasion when to say that it's worth doing, I will take the opportunity.
Kit, in July, fast forwarding again to the Tour de France. Which French word was Tadej Pogacar teaching his teammates to pronounce in French at the race?
Croissant?
Correct.
Croissant, as I think he tried to.
Oof, that is, yeah. Blimey. Well, swiftly moving on. Ronan, what was Jonas Vingegaard's one wish for what he could do after the Tour de France?
Go to Legoland, was it? With his family or something?
That is
obviously the wrong answer.
No, but you've pulled that from, that was the Tour the year before, and wasn't that Edvald Bosenhagen was at Legoland and had to quickly get there? Is that right, Ian?
I think he was, car was packed and they were driving, and then had to slam it into a screeching U-turn in the middle of some Norwegian motorway to head back home.
I remember
Lego
that,
bricks just flying out the window.
I thought Vinigo wanted to go to Legoland also. Maybe not. Maybe he just wanted to disappear with his family for a bit. Or go home to his family. Or what is the actual answer?
I mean, maybe, but it's not the one I have written down. Ian, can you steal a point?
I don't think I can. My answer will be that he wanted to have some McDonald's chips or something.
Kit?
I don't know either.
No.
We just keep going until we guess.
Cheeseburgers. I'll put you all out of your misery. It was eat a doner durum. So Ian was on the right tracks, but not.
What?
I don't know what you just said.
A doner durum, like a kebab. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, doner durum. Okay, that good to know where the gaps in the knowledge are. If any for planning for next year. Ian, who smoked a cigar on the Champs-Élysées after they finished their final ever Tour de France stage?
Peter Sagan. And it didn't look like it was his first cigar.
No, I was about to say it looked like it was something that he's done many, many times before. Probably after every other Tour de France he's finished.
I mean, he did it after every stage of the race. It was just that the cameras weren't there those times.
Do we know that?
No. Sorry, that is
No.
Me making a silly little joke.
Oh, okay.
He did suck that cigar down like he's like some sort of mafioso, wasn't it? It was second nature to the fella. Kit, August now, we're at the Vuelta. What was Remco Evenepoel's complaint at the end of the opening stage time trial?
How to phrase it? Well, it was too late, too dark, too wet. They should have had it earlier. It wasn't safe. All the above.
Bingo.
For a second there, I thought you didn't know the answer, Kid. I thought I was going to get a chance to steal a point. And then you knew every answer.
Just listing every possible reason.
Well, I think it's all things that he shouted at some point. It is quite, I don't know. I thought it was quite a decent moment from him, actually. I agreed.
It was good.
It was bonkers.
The gesticulating was fantastic, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The sort of up to the sky while wearing that time trial helmet was... it's like very hard to look angry in that helmet and like convincingly like portray your anger.
But it was also that kind of combination of anger and fear, because I think he was just terrified having just finished that ridiculous time trial.
No, absolutely correct. Ronan, this was also quite a difficult question. I think it's just how the questions have fallen. I'm not that organised. Okay, where was Mauro Schmid accused of going on holiday in September? And what was his excuse for what? Oh, fantastic.
Glasses Garden.
No hanging about.
You were going to say an extra point for what was the excuse, weren't you? So that's 2, no? Oh, okay.
Go on then. Why not? And, answering the question before, giving the answer before I've managed to answer the question is just fantastic quiz programming, really.
It's also the confidence of a kid sitting at the back of the class leaning back on his chair.
Feet up.
Yeah.
Not even reading the book, you think I am? And
holding the microphone like he's about to, drop a new mixtape. So that's also, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got our dweeby little stands. Kit's got this telescopic thing. I've got a pop shield. And Ronan looks like he's just about to spit some absolute fire.
Any second there.
Dweeby is such a good word.
Ronan looks like he's given a sermon at some American mega church.
I did have I did a similar setup, Ian. You probably hadn't seen it because we don't generally podcast together. But I forgave my workstation in place of a sim rig, so I no longer have a desk to work at. But at least I have a driving game to play.
Well, that's a huge win.
Right, at the end of that round, you all got 3 points, which is great because it keeps it all fairly tight at the top. Ronan is now on 4 points in third place. Ian, 5 points in second place, and Nicholson still in the lead, 5.5 points. We're on to a special round now that lies very close to my heart. It is titled Richard Sugar, and these are all alcohol-based questions from the 2023 World Tour season. We're back to the format where you can write down the answer and we'll go through them at the end. If anything, that the quick fire viral quiz round has really tuckered me out, to be honest. Question number 1. Which rider drank a beer with his brother mid-race on a climb, and what beer was it? Question number 2. On the final Vuelta podium, who had the longest chug in order from longest to shortest out of Jonas Vingegaard, Primož Roglic, or Sepp Kuss? I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3, longest to shortest. Question number 3. Post-Vuelta victory, historic footage emerged of a college-aged Sepp Kuss, and it showed the Durango native building a pyramid out of beer cans while 2 of his friends wrestled on the floor. How many beer cans did the pyramid consist of? Question number 4. This is the final question of this round. Which former world champion was spotted in full Molteni garb at Leroyka, carrying a tray of 10 beers after the ride? Who would like to kick us off with the answer to question number 1?
I don't have the answer to question number 1.
I have 3 answers.
Let's hear him.
Sorry, I thought Iain was going first. I was just going to say I can share one with you, and if you like,
that'd be better.
I don't know which one's correct.
Oh, I see. Well, go with your gut.
I don't know if it was the Van der Poel brothers, because not Matthew, the other one, was retiring, or if it was Sagan, but his brother retired before this season, I think, or was it Oliver Nassen and Lawrence Nassen, because I don't know.
Unfortunately, none of them are correct. Sorry, Ronan. Anyone else?
I've got an answer, but
go on, Kit.
There's a good chance it's not right. I just wrote down Valentin Madouas.
Oh, for that video at the tour?
Well,
no, was that Kosnefar?
That was Kosnefar.
Well,
yeah.
There we go.
I did like that clip though. No, it's a similar sort of scene. Iain, do you have it, or shall I?
I have like the faintest vibe that it was maybe an Australian, but that could well be wrong. No, okay.
It's not an Australian.
All right.
Right. It was at the Tour of Britain. It was Luke Rowe, and he was riding up the climb, and his brother was in a cheerleader outfit and passed him a bottle of Corona, and they both had a sip. Because it was going around their home roads in Wales, I think, the stage. Caerphilly, maybe?
I'm pretty sure it was like a decade ago. Was it Luke Rowe's brother was also at the top of the same climb in like a boxing gloves and boxer shorts, and was like pretending to have a boxing round fight, whatever you call it, with riders as they came up.
Okay.
Good spirit.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen it. Is that where Luke Rowe got the inspiration for his little fisticuffs with Tony Martin?
Maybe it was after that, or maybe it was around the same time. Yeah. Who
wants to have a go at answering the chug order?
I don't remember it, but I've got a guess.
Go on. Give us your reasoning as well for your order.
Well,
let's say
Kuss for obvious reasons, because of his serious chug on stage earlier in the race, and then Roglic, and then Vingegaard, because I don't think Vingegaard's got the frame to hold very much beer or whatever was being chugged.
I went for a different order.
Well, what did you go for?
I went for Kuss for the same reasons, and then I went with Vingegaard because he seems like a bit more fun, and then I went with Roglic because he seems like no fun.
Which is interesting, because he seemed like quite a lot of fun at the Giro in some of those videos from the...
Yeah, but by the time we got to the Vuelta...
Yes, no, I realised, yeah.
I went with the same order as Kit. And the reason why is that I think Roglic probably had an eye on the exit and was just going to be like, well, stuff you to the anti-drinking rules of this team. I'm going to have some beer or champagne or whatever it was. Cava.
So give us that order again, Iain.
Sepp, Roglic, Vingegaard.
That is the correct order. Well done. Ronan just did possibly the biggest eye roll that I've ever seen, and I'm glad that his eyes have managed to roll back to the front of his head so he can continue on the quiz.
I'll admit I got that one wrong. That was not weighted against me. There was no unfair questioning there. I just got that wrong.
Is that the first one you've got wrong?
Well, luckily up next we've got the very simple question of how many beer cans were in the beer pyramid.
Was it a pyramid or a tower?
Anyone want to? Good question, Iain. I would say it was it was like a 2D pyramid. So it didn't necessarily have the depth.
A triangle.
It was a triangular tower.
Yes, there we go.
Okay.
I'm sure the ancient Egyptians also had these mini quarrels.
I'll get my answer out of the way because I haven't even seen this photo, and for some reason,
it's
a video. 72 popped into my mind.
72.
I wish it had been 72.
Yeah, if it had been 72, surely you would have seen it.
Surely it would have been 3D.
And yes, that too. It is not 72, unfortunately, but I feel like the imagination is. I love that. Ian, Kit, any ideas?
I think it was 10.
10 for Kit. Ian?
I think if it's a pyramid, then it needs to. I'm going to go one higher. I'm going to go 11 because it would be 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. And does that not equal 11? It does not.
It does equal. Oh no, it equals.
It equals 4, 3, 2,
10.
1 is 10.
It equals 10, but unfortunately, there was an extra layer at the bottom of 5
15.
So the answer is 15.
Is 10 or 72 closer to 15?
It's a good question, Ronan.
I'm not sure. We'll have to ask one of the technical guys.
Have we got any of them here?
But you know what? No. I'll give the point to Ian for being closest, I think, and for explaining his answer.
Yeah, with the wrong maths.
But wrongly. Like that's a sympathy point because I've shown that I can't count up to 10.
His answer was 10, but you said 11.
That's smart. I feel like we should reward
idiocy.
Sort of explain the answer to this is an audio product that we're creating here, and I feel like
so Ian has now got points. That. 1 point for idiocy and 1 point for brilliance.
Yeah, balanced, and that's a balanced quiz for you. Kit, who was the former world champion? Do you have an answer for that one?
I've got a feeling it was Kwiato, Mikhail Kwiatkowski.
Eddie Merckx.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. Ian?
I had Kwiatkowski as well.
Here's Kwiatkowski. The point for Ian and Kit. But Ronan, I am enjoying the way that you've decided to approach this quiz now.
He's already got a cap. That's why.
Yeah, the stakes could not be lower for Ronan. So at the end of that round, Ronan is still on 4 points in third place.
Still in third, yeah.
Yes, Kit is in second now at 7.5 points, and Ian has slightly stuck into the lead with 8 points.
I mean, even I feel a little bit bad about that.
Would you like me to scrub it from the record?
You could give him half a point so they were tied.
Yeah, I think that's a good negotiation.
I mean, it does work out for me somewhat.
Good producing, guys. That is great. Ronan, you're going to be displeased to hear that because you were drafted in late as a replacement on this podcast, you did not have the time to prep for this next round. But you can still take part, and that will be taken into consideration depending on your answer. So this round is called Into the Vault. You have to suggest one moment from the 2023 season to store in the secure vault that will be carried forever into history and sort of survive the many apocalypses that will eventually sort of rain down upon us all. Only one of your answers can survive. So I now give you the chance to present your moment from the 2023 season and sort of try and convince myself, your other colleagues here, and the audience of why your moment should be the one to go into the vault. Who would like to start? Maybe Ian or Kit to give Ronan some thinking time. Don't all jump at once, guys.
Do you want to go first, Kit? I sense no.
Not sure whether you were asking if I wanted to go first or if I wanted you to go first.
Mind games are afoot here. I like it.
I can go first. I have a question for Jonny though. Do you want
fire away?
Do you want like an earnest, what we genuinely think is the best moment, or the thing that most tickled us this season?
I wasn't I wasn't primed for this particular question. I feel like I need to
in terms of what was asked,
work out a better moment than what I prepared. Or prepared.
May I just highlight my concerns about the highly subjective nature of this question?
Yeah, so we've also got to pick Jonny's best moment.
I'll be as objective as I can be, as a highly judgmental individual. Ian, I mean my heart says one thing, but I feel like I don't want to skew the quiz. So I will leave it up to you.
I
can go first.
Okay. Ronan, great.
Wow. MC McLaughlin has the mic and he's ready to drop some sort of ecclesiastical bangers.
I don't think I had considered Jonas Vingegaard's TT performance in the Tour de France as one of the standout moments of the year, and I think that would be difficult to argue with. But I think the highlight, not so much for myself, but certainly for Jonny and Kelly, would have to be the hangover that I suffered on the first day that we arrived at the Classics, having drank, I think, 3 beers the night before and having to spend an entire day not doing very much. And obviously Jonny was the only person who was witness to this, but I think you can attest to what a banger that was.
It was. I mean, it was both concerning and funny, which is two good emotions to combine.
I'll let you pick either of my answers.
Well, I was going to say that actually, I feel like watching Jonas Vingegaard's TT was less fun than watching your hangover. And that's it. Those are two good disparate moments. Enjoyed them both. Ian, would you like to give us your?
If Ronan's giving an earnest and a not earnest
one,
why not?
I'll do.
Why
don't we do two?
So my earnest one is the stage 20 of the Giro, Primoz Roglic's time trial up Monte Lasari. I think that there was some exceptional drama about that stage. There were storylines stretching back years in terms of him losing the Tour de France time trial a couple of years earlier and then being able to redeem himself in kind of the reversed situation. The mechanical, the fact that there were Slovenian fans everywhere going absolutely nuts. I think that was a really satisfying narrative arc. My less earnest one, but which has really sort of stuck with me, and I don't think I'll ever be able to let it leave my brain, is, I can't even remember what stage of the Tour de France, but David Gaudu hopped off the team bus, just walked past all the reporters, and just had the most explicit makeout session with his girlfriend in the car park, and like arms inside each other's t-shirts. It changed everything I thought I knew about David Gaudu. So that is my other answer.
I wish that people could see our faces, because just everyone having to remember or learn maybe that fact about David Gaudu.
I feel it's a slight disadvantage having not shared these moments with you guys.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true.
That is true, Kit.
Can I just say I'm willing to what's the word? Combine or compromise my earnest answer in Jonas Vingegaard's time trial, and I'll swap it for Ian's Roglic Giro time trial, in the interest of having a time trial be the highlight of the year.
How is this sort of nascent market economy turned up where we're now trading favourite moments mid podcast?
I'm gonna go Ian's time trial there. Just as I said, just so that when our leader Kaylee Fretz listens back to this podcast and hears that a time trial was our chosen moment of the year, or after the apocalypse, should he open this time capsule and be reminded that time trials used to be a thing, I think that would just be fantastic.
I like it. Kit,
well, I
have your answer.
So my answer comes out of years of following the sport, and it's stage 1 of the Tour de France, when, lo and behold, after several years of wanting it to happen, Adam Yates and Simon Yates were alone at the front of a race, and we actually got, I think for the first time ever, mano a mano between the twins. We got to see who was best in an uphill sprint, at least, and Adam Yates came out on top, and it was that kind of perfect moment. It also meant that a UAE Emirate rider besides Pogačar was in the first yellow jersey of the Tour de France. And yeah, it was, as a Brit, I was interested in seeing how these twins would fare, and also as the story of just having, you always wonder what brothers or sisters or siblings of any kind are going to do when they compete against one another, and they've seemed to be keeping away from each other, even once they were on different teams. So that was a great moment for me.
There's also that moment later in the tour where we were like climbing absolutely
so
in
beautiful.
sync.
Oh, that was divine, literally.
That is a good one, because also you're putting like the memory of twins in the vault, which I feel will baffle the aliens.
Just wait until they hear about triplets.
They can't handle triplets. Just open the vault and there's just a bunch of seeds and then just the Yates twins.
Oh.
But then maybe also they would have seeds and David Gaudu getting off with his girlfriend. This is a harder choice than I thought it would be. It's definitely between those two, as much as the Roglic time trial was great. Ronan, as an independent third party, flagging behind in the standings, would you like to weigh in on your thoughts between Go Do, the Snogger, and the Yates twins?
Did we get a second moment from Kit the last
No,
series?
well, I
Okay.
didn't have
true.
a second moment. Well, the second
Okay.
moment seemed to be taken from shared experiences, and I haven't really got any of those yet with you guys, apart from in this setting with 2D screens and your torsos. In fact, just your shoulders.
Yeah.
But what shoulders?
That's all there is
Yeah,
to
we're-
us.
Favorite shoulders.
We all meet in person next year, and it turns out that we're all just like bottom half horses, and then Kit's just like, I got this all wrong. But you could have like one answer could be the moment from Adam's perspective, and then the other one is from Simon's perspective. You know, that's
Yeah.
maybe works.
Stronger
maybe not.
twin, weaker twin.
I think weirdly I want to put the Yates twins in the vote. I didn't think anything was going to get past David Gaudu and his girlfriend, but turns out, yeah, I think the Yateses have stolen and captured my imagination. Kit, a point there for that round.
As some
That's the epic stand is Kit now
extra Yatesian context,
Oh yeah,
I too was captivated by the idea of an inter-twin rivalry, and tried to ask some pointed questions of both of their teams about whether they were competing against each other, but not a serious question, just trying to have fun. And nobody picked the ball up and played with it. They were all like, no, there is no rivalry. They are both trying to do their very best, but they love each other very much as brothers. So I think
Very
that,
boring.
I remember that.
yeah, that was
You should have
sad.
written fiction of it. That would have been good.
Would have.
I think I've seen.
Two brothers.
Some sort of video footage of one of them saying, "Yeah, we're competitive, obviously,"
Yeah, they
and that-
definitely are.
and that they, that they competed in training as kids. But that's just the kind of day by day answers, isn't it? That's a team saying they're doing their jobs. It was also the Tour de France, so everyone's a bit boring there, apart from David Gaudu, evidently.
True.
Mm.
Yes, true, very true. Right at the end of that round, thank you all for bringing your answers. I think that was fun to reminisce. Shame that time trial did not get into the vault, but I think maybe for the greater good. So Ronan's still in third place as we race towards the end of the quiz with 4 points. Iain back in second place, 7.5 points, and Kit is in the lead with 8.5.
Is the gap to second place? Is there enough points left for me to actually close that, or am I
you wanna leave?
mathematically out of the equation? I want to finally drop this mic.
You are actually, that is a good point. You are out of the running, Ronan.
Oh.
And if you would you like to? To stay? If you need to leave, you can go because I know you're very busy.
No.
and you did us a favour.
I would like to stay and try to influence who takes the overall.
Okay.
honours
I love
and
it.
destroy the race for one of my colleagues.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So brutal.
Where was that passion at the start of the quiz, Ronan? Could have really helped you out. Okay, this next question, I'm going to take the first person to give me the answer. It feels trepidatious,
Trepidatious.
but
Somebody's been
Is that
watching
a word?
American
No.
TV. No, it is a word in America.
I watch too much American TV, have too many American colleagues. Whose quote is this? James Knox, little wanker.
Oh, wait, no.
Theo Guggenhardt.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Good guess.
Remco Evenepoel.
Bingo. It was Remco Evenepoel at the Vuelta, I believe. Just mid-race in the peloton, TV camera pulls up and he just points at James Knox and just says it like 3 times in a row.
there was a little joke in there with your bingo response, but I'll not go there.
Okay. I would also like to clarify, by too many American colleagues, I just meant that I say
That you hate
American
them
words. Just thought I should clarify that because that could cost me more than the quiz. It could cost me my job. The next question: who slacked that? I'm going to read out a quote from
Sorry,
the
say that
Escape
again.
Collective Slack channel.
Who slacked?
It's
Slack. Okay.
Who slacked that? Who slacked that? The Slack, the work messaging service. I've pulled out a quote of a message, and I need to know who wrote this on the company Slack, dated between March and now. The quote is, "Dead as a dingo's donger, as we say. New line, I don't get to talk to people much."
Is it Matt Deneath?
Not Matt Deneath.
Or is it Iain
I'm gonna
Treloar
say
then?
Ian. Yeah.
It's Ronan, you're correct. It is Iain Treloar.
Well, I always
He
say
doesn't even
Iain
remember
Treloar
saying
just
it.
now.
I'm sorry, Kit. It's not a spray and pray situation. It was your first best answer.
I like that Ian didn't
yeah.
get that.
Same.
And my only rationale was Ian is here. And that's why I gave Matt. That's my answer.
Yeah, it would have been strange if I mean, it's strange that I didn't get my own point for that. But it's kind of strange that if I would have as well.
It would have been less strange because it was a message posted on our DM conversation. So actually, there was no chance that either Kit or Ian, Kit or Ronan knew that it existed. So it's actually very impressive that Ronan got it right.
Process. I
Yes,
can't remember the
please do.
exact quote, but it was clearly an Australian
Obviously. Yeah.
lingo.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the Australians colleagues of ours, and the language and the tone used didn't really seem to fit with any of the others, but did seem to fit with Ian, and that was kind of why.
Well, I had a similar thought. I'm just glad that Ronan got the point because it doesn't matter.
Consolation.
That a victory for the breakaway on that question. But yes, the context of that question, in case anyone cared, they probably don't, was it was when I was over in Asia, and I just messaged Ian being like, "It's rather quiet in this time zone, isn't it? There's no one really around." And then just he hit me with, "I don't get to talk to people much," and I felt a little bit sad for a couple minutes.
Come and join me at the weekend. Ian.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, quiet in all time zones at the weekend. Okay, this is the final question of the quiz, unless we need to use the tiebreaker, which it looks like we might do, because Ronan currently has 5 points in third, and then Ian and Kit are tied in the lead with 8.5 points, which is all that you could hope for in a quiz.
May I make
Ronan,
one
you got a question?
suggestion?
Yes.
Double points to the final answer,
Oh, so it's the winner takes all.
more or less.
Because otherwise Ian wins. Well, unless I get the point.
I thought it was
No.
still between you two.
No, Ian,
you
Ian
mean-
and Kit, you're tied.
Yes, but
You're
there's a
tied. This is winner
tiebreaker.
take-
Oh, yeah, so it's already winner takes all. No, sorry, yes, of course.
Oh no, because if Ronan gets this right, then you two will have the tiebreaker.
Oh, true, obviously.
We'll be cutting a
Right.
promotional cap down the middle.
I had a bit of a brain fail there, and that I was thinking I have 5 points, and if we double points to the final
We're
answer, I
all
could
very
end up
good
on
at
10.
maths.
But no, I would still only end up in 7 and still wouldn't win. So yeah, let's not bother.
I
with double points.
wondered where that question was going. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was frantically trying to figure it out. Okay, the final question of the 2023 Placeholder World Championship. The question round is called Riddle Me That. I've written a riddle for you. And it will be the first... You get one answer, so no more spraying and praying and just going through all the possible answers. You got one answer, and it's fastest to the buzzer to say the name. I will begin the riddle. I fly from high above, some may say above my station. I brought great honour to my entire nation.
Sepp Kuss.
A fellow Wow. Kit Nicholson. Can I finish my riddle? I worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
A fellow superstar teammate I've said goodbye to since. One thing I'm definitely not is the sickly boy prince. And yes, Kit
Very
Nicholson.
good.
It is Sepp Kuss. And with that, thank God for breaking my wallet. You are the 2023 Placeholder World Champion. And alongside that, the proud owner of this Ross baseball cap.
Which is great
Ronan,
because
you
before
have a
we started
question.
recording, we established that I don't wear hats.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
May I just highlight a little known UCI regulation that states that there must be a minimum entry list for a championship to be awarded, and I don't think 3 is enough to award a world championship. So
I really like the character arc you have displayed in this podcast recording. It's great. From completely uninterested to pedant at the end.
I think I also figured out why I'm so bad at these quizzes, because Johnny got about halfway through his riddle and I kind of found myself wondering, what are we trying to be figuring out here? Is it who said this, or is it who's he talking about? But anyway, that was fun.
Well, thank you, Ronan, as well, for stepping in last minute. You put up a valiant effort. I think with 30 seconds notice, 5 points, people may be putting you in as a dark horse for the 2024 World Championships.
Yeah, with a bit of preparation. Well, I mean, as much preparation as what I did was about, I sat down 10 minutes before we started and had a quick look at a few things.
I think if I can, focus on my general classification and sort of forgo a bit of my time trialing prowess, I might have a chance there in some of the peakier questions. I don't know. I'm trying to rephrase this like a GC contender who isn't really a GC contender, focusing on the Tour de France. But anyway, you get the point.
Yep, I liked it. Well done, Jonny.
Thank
good
you.
Quiz, and the riddle was very good finale.
I'm glad you enjoyed. But yeah, thank you all for joining in today and for podcasting the whole year. It's been a lot of fun from the various sort of highs, and there haven't been that many lows. But yeah, thank you to all of you. Thank you to everyone who's been listening and reading since March. I think can speak on behalf of everyone how much fun it's been. Very excited for year 2, which I think will be very different to year 1. And also, I think we should just take a moment to thank the people who operate sort of behind the scenes, whose byline you don't often see on the website. People like Jared, Jace, Andy, Will, podcast editor, Dennis, the tech guy, Lou, who is the accounts person, and Tom, who's our designer. I think to end it, I was just going to go around and give you guys the floor, as I've spoken quite a lot this episode, if you wanted to give any final thoughts on the year, since this will be our final podcast of the year. And I was going to let you guys sort of sign us off. Kit, would you like to have the floor for a bit?
Sprung on me slightly, but yeah, I will. Yep. I mean, it's nice to have a podcast to speak on. I think you kind of touched on the fact that it's nice to be here. It's nice to have fun working, and with the crew that we've got, it's a good team. And yeah, it's nice to be just, I don't know, have something to talk about and to actually have people listening and to engage with those people, because obviously on Discord we do that, and it's nice. I quite often find myself talking about movies and TV, which is great fun. So yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all I've got to say. It's nice to actually be able to do this.
Agreed. Iain?
At risk of being overly earnest, I think that it's a really beautiful thing that we get to work with people that we like, and that we get to do it for an audience that we like and who seem to like us. And I don't take that for granted. And I think that we're really, really lucky to be able to tell the stories that we want to tell the way that we want to tell them. And I feel very fortunate compared to, not that all of cycling media is not good, but I do think that we are different to other cycling media, and our audience is different, and that's really a special thing.
Hear.
Nicely put. Ronan?
I'll just echo Iain and Kit's comments there. I also just want to take this opportunity to say that, having been a college student, I think 15 beer cans is an absolutely petty try, and really, had it been 72, it would have been all the more impressive.
Agreed as well.
15 bottles of Jack Daniels or something like that, that might be more impressive, but beer cans.
Well said.
Agreed.
Here.
Well said.
Mic drop.
Nice to take the final moment of the of the year's podcast and to just put a little kick in on Sepkus, because amazing. Well, I think that's it from everyone. Thanks again for everyone listening. Thanks to you all. I think this is the final podcast of the year, so we'll see you in 2024 for the World Tour season. Other podcast. If you haven't signed up already, might as well do it. Save yourself a New Year's resolution for next year.
Yes.
Goodbye.
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 Goodbye.